You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
It is time for Happy Hour. It is the Man Cave Happy Hour. Whiskey, cigars, spirits, and the stories that go along with it. I'm Jimmy Flanagan.
I am Matthew Fox.
And we are once again out and about on the streets,
I think
uninvited.
We're totally uninvited.
Unannounced. Uninhibited.
What are you doing here?
And, yeah, I love that. Well, we walk in, we sit down, we start setting up microphones and a camera and ordering cocktails and making pod.
Making pod. Here we go.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this time around we're back to one of our original locations.
Yes, we
the
are.
Stray Cat Lounge.
Stray Cat Lounge. The atmosphere in here is phenomenal.
It's swanky. It is. It's everything you imagine a swanky
cigar bar,
martini
cigar. Yeah, they do a lot of really nice things. They do live bands here too.
They do, and they like a DJ now and again.
Yep.
And then they have a blues night, and then a rock night.
Yeah.
And they'll do top 40 stuff, and then just mixtures of things. So yeah, that's
something for everybody here.
Something a little bit for everything.
And
we are going to try a little bit of something today.
We are doing just the taste today.
Just the taste.
It's the Man Cave Just the Taste, and we've decided to try our see what it sounds, see what it feels like.
Yeah, we grabbed the bourbon menu. They have a nice bourbon menu.
They really do.
Reasonably priced.
Yes.
I was noticing it's actually reasonably priced for many bars.
Yes.
So I was quite pleased with the prices.
Yep.
And so just to give you an idea, a Blanton's 1.5 ounce pour, and these are all 1.5 ounce pours.
Yeah.
Was only $14.
That's pretty good for Blanton's.
And then Bulleit is $8.
$8. Yes, and that's what we're going to try our hand in tonight. Is a little bit of Bulleit.
Bulleit. Yes.
Yeah. So
Bulleit, the blue sky.
There it is.
We gotta get our U2 references in.
That's so Irish of you.
Yeah. What was that bad joke? Bono
and Edge walk into a bar.
Walk into a bar, and the barman turns and looks. Not U2 again. It's like so Irish because it's like the barman. It's the not just the bartender, but.
Correct.
The barman. That's what makes it an Irish joke. So.
Actually, I got a story about Bulleit, if I can share.
Do you? All right. Yeah.
So I was out west on a ski trip.
Oh.
I was in Colorado, and I was having a great time. And I walked into a restaurant. We had reservations. We sit down, but I really, really wanted a bourbon. And I walked up to the bartender, the barman, I guess you could call him, right?
Hey, bartender.
And I'm like, I would really like a bourbon. What would you suggest? He said, have you ever tried Bulleit? And being the novice that we are, and we had just started our man cave, and I was kind of telling him a little bit about it, and he threw me a Bulleit drink, and I didn't shoot it. I should have, but because he wanted me to, but I didn't shoot it.
No.
But I sipped on it. It was really
sippers.
at the first time I tried it. It actually hit me really hard as far as the spice goes.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't spicy hot. It had a really nice kick because it's got a rye. It's about rye, right?
Yeah.
As I learned, it's more about the rye now than anything else that gives it that spiciness, that flavor.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't prepared for it. I about choked on it.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun though, but that was my first experience with Bulleit.
Okay.
And I've been wanting to kind of dig into it a little bit more, understand it. I got some history here about Bulleit, and you know. But I'm excited for you to try it as well.
Yeah, well, I've had it before. I've had Bulleit. I haven't had it at the house.
Okay.
But I have had Bulleit. Went out with my buddy Doug, and we were downtown Royal Oak, and he's a bourbon drinker too, and he ordered up a Bulleit on the rocks, and I was just, how you get it, I'll take one of those too.
Sure.
So, but that was my first experience with it, and I enjoyed it, but it was on the rocks. But today, like we do with Just a Taste,
neat.
We like to do them neat. Just to get the uninhibited,
unbridled flavor,
just to get it right, right?
So,
Because we are novices, and that's the whole point of the Man Cave, is to learn as we stumble through this. And hopefully, as you're listening, you might pick up on something, or you can either say, well, these guys are usually spot on, I'll go try that. Or these guys are always dead wrong. I'm not going to listen to a bloody thing they say. Or I'll do the exact opposite. Like my wife, just do the exact opposite. So, but
or,
so we
or
learned
that's what I do.
That's
what I do all the time. Is the exact opposite of what she tells me.
But we want to be experts. We want to grow. One day I want to grow up and be a bourbon expert. I'm hoping. That's kind of.
You're getting there.
I got pretty crappy goals in life. But,
we're getting there. We are.
So there's some terms that you should know if you're a wannabe expert.
Oh.
Do you want to know?
I would love to know because.
Do you really want to know?
I really want to know.
Tell me what you want.
Oh, what you really want?
Want to know? All right.
Every wannabe
expert, like 7 slang terms. Every wannabe bourbon
I'll tell you
expert
what I want,
should
what
know.
I really want. I want it. Why do I know these words?
I know. We've been talking about this has come up from time to time.
Yes.
The juice.
The juice.
So it's just the bourbon inside the bottle.
A
lot of times we talk about, and a lot of things are blends, and they blend different juices together. So it's just the whiskey or the bourbon.
Okay.
But instead of saying bourbon or
over
whiskey
and over again, call it juice.
You can change it up and call it juice.
All right. Okay.
I'm just waiting for bourbon in juice boxes. They got
Through a
wine.
straw?
They got wine in little juice boxes.
They do.
I'm ready.
Those are kind of bigger boxes, though.
I'm ready for my.
You ready for your close-up?
My juice box.
All right. Oh.
So unicorns is another thing.
You know, I've heard that phrase used around a couple of the clubs that we belong to.
Sure,
you know, I've seen that phrase thrown around. So
a lot of people are like, "Oh, searching for my unicorn this weekend."
Oh, so they're searching for something that's rare.
Rare,
okay.
Yeah. So it's sometimes it's a unicorn bottle. It's a sought after or limited edition, hard to find bourbon. Annual release of bourbons from Old Foresters, their birthday bourbon, Pappy, anything is a unicorn for people generally.
True.
Four Roses limited editions, those are usually unicorns. And then Buffalo Trace has the antique collection, which actually just came out recently.
Really?
Yeah, and people have been snapping those up as they've appeared on the shelves around.
No wonder
our
I can't
area.
find them. That's fine.
Well, you gotta, and that leads us to the next term where you find these things is your honey hole.
Okay, a honey hole?
A honey hole.
Okay.
Careful.
Okay.
All right. So, but it's a liquor store has good selections and has those prize bottles. Is there a place that you go to? Is there?
There's a couple places around my area
we
where
befriended Tony at the Wine Garden.
Yes, sir.
And he's got a magnificent selection.
Yes.
And
he knows his stuff up there
amazing.
Too.
And we mentioned this on the podcast before, but because I didn't know him from Adam, and I just went into his store, and I was like picking around at the bottles and looking.
Yeah.
And he was like, "So what are you interested in?" And he talked to me a little bit. He goes, "Let me try something." And he pulled a couple bottles out from behind the counter.
Really?
In tiny little plastic tasting cups, and poured me a couple tastes right then and there on the spot. He didn't know me from Adam. I hadn't been shopping. This was the first time he ever seen me in his store. I've been in there a handful of times.
That Tony.
But
I love him.
The first time, and he just poured it up, and he's like, it's that, and he wasn't like, but make sure you buy it. It was like whatever, and so it was great. So Tony's a good spot. There's another one called Keiko's over on my side of town that usually has a pretty nice selection.
We're
on Woodward and 14.
Oh, okay, yeah, that is right around the corner from you.
Yeah, so a honey hole is your is your favorite spot. Do you have something besides the Wine Garden that you?
The Wine Garden is the only one I've actually visited because just everything that I ever wanted is there.
Right.
And if I can't find it there, they might be able to know where to get it from.
Right.
And then they'll bring it in. So
another term is a honey barrel, and that's the idea of it's a rare barrel.
Okay.
That the unicorns come from basically. There's another thing called a fake tan.
A fake tan.
Heading into the summertime.
Not what I have right now.
No.
Right? No, because
no. You're orange.
Oh yes. I'm kind of drowned out right now with the white light.
Stop looking. You look like a Cheeto. You look like a cheese nip. Right? It's an Oompa Loompa orange. So, but a fake tan, it's adding artificial caramel coloring to deepen the flavor. It's a banned practice. But some drinkers insist there's distillers that are doing it and adding a fake tan because the longer a juice, a bourbon sits in the barrel, the darker it gets.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people equate the age with quality. And that's not always true either. You can get a young bourbon that's a fine bourbon, too.
Sure.
And not all your old bourbons are great bourbons.
A young bourbon that we've had in the past was Detroit City Distillery. It was
right.
it was a young bourbon. I think it was 18 months old.
Enjoyed the hell out of those.
And it was phenomenal. It really was a nice beer. It was a nice bourbon. Yeah. And
so,
there was no fake tan there either. So
the deeper the color, it's a desirable trait.
Yeah.
And so a fake tan is doing that. There was legislations back in the day and why they have the tax stamp on it and everything.
Right.
Colonel Taylor was really an advocate for that and pushed for laws because they were darkening just clear spirits with like tobacco spit and dirt and just anything. So.
Yeah, whatever's going to add color.
Yeah. So a tater, here's another vocab word.
Tater?
Tater.
Did you say tater?
Tater.
Tater salad?
They call me tater salad. Oh, you caught the tater. But a tater, I don't know where it derived from, but a lot of people, you got novices like us.
Yes.
And people are excited about it. And like we say, there's like probably 4 different bourbon clubs in the Metro Detroit area.
Right.
The Michigan Bourbon Club, the Detroit Bourbon Club, the Michigan Whiskey and Bourbon Lovers. There's like 4 that I belong to, and I'm sure there's more. But so there's a lot of clubs and things, and people trade bottles and sell bottles.
Okay.
These taters are these people newer to the hobby, and they hear something wins an award, or they hear there's a new bottle of something, and they go out and they buy like a case of it.
Oh wow!
And speculating on it, and then they try to sell it on Facebook and in these groups.
Gotcha.
And on different things, and so it's kind of horse poop. So tater, if you got that's a total tater move. So don't be a tater.
Don't be a tater.
Don't be a tater.
Oh, okay, fine.
How about have you heard of the White Dog?
White Dog. Is that
you're a
would
Game
that
of
be,
Thrones fan, right?
I am. That's Ghost.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
that would be Ghost.
Different.
That would be the White Dog. A little bit different there.
Didn't they unsummarily write him off or something?
Oh, they unsummarily forgot to write him back in until people started to bitch about it.
Okay.
So he appeared, and then he appeared again, and then he appeared one more time.
Okay,
but
fair
there's
play.
been no story about him at all.
Oh, fair play.
He's just
like
there.
a White Dog. All
He's
right.
just there.
But White Dog, when it comes to the whiskey world, also known as White Lightning, White whiskey,
hooch.
That's it. Tuner and
Here comes
hooch
the
back to
hooch.
the dog. Yeah. So, but before it goes in a barrel for its aging, it's usually clear.
It's a clear liquid,
clear,
right. Clear.
White. So there you go. So it's something that hasn't been browned in the barrel
Okay.
yet. So, but it's missing out on that barrel stuff. It's so very, very corn, right? Because bourbon has
Very
to be
much
at least
so.
51% corn.
Corn. Mm-hmm.
Yada yada yada.
And it's got to go into that American oak.
So it's
barrel.
not bourbon until it lives in that barrel for a while. But
Correct.
that juice before it does that is those White Dogs.
Okay.
Then the Angel Share.
Okay.
Like Angel's Envy.
Wait a minute. Is this the angel? Is this the stuff that might fall out or
evaporation?
Okay.
Yeah, because those barrels are porous, right? They breathe.
Yes, they do.
breathe. That's why that
And the
Jefferson's
span
we had
contracts.
was salty.
That's right.
From the ocean, supposedly from the ocean brine, right?
Right.
So the Angel Share is the stuff that evaporates. Is your Angel Share?
Okay.
The hunt.
I'm learning lots right now.
I
Man.
know the hunt is the term for what we do when we're out hunting bottles and hunting a good pour.
Yes.
Just out there searching for highly coveted bottles.
This is a treasure that we're in right now.
It is.
The Stray Cat. If you're hunting around,
It's
if you just want to.
not a bad place to hunt if you're in Metro Detroit.
Not at all.
Fair prices. You can try stuff here.
Yeah. Hey, find a little treasure here. Ooh, I like this next one.
Yeah.
Dusty's.
Dusty's.
I like this next one.
It's from the Springfield clan.
Okay.
No. Different.
Son of a preacher man.
Different
Huh?
something. Yeah. So.
Billy Ray was a preacher's son.
So,
okay.
all right. So it's bottles of out-of-production booze that have been sitting around for a while, and sometimes they're literally dusty. I picked up 2 really cool decanters at an estate sale.
Okay.
For it was like $5 each, and they were really, really cool. One's from the 80s, and it was like a political. It had the donkey on it, and the donkey had a big globe on top of it. It was...
Yeah, it's from an estate sale?
Yeah, one was Wild Turkey, and the other one was Ezra Brooks.
Oh, my goodness.
The Ezra Brooks is a bear, and this big bear. But the problem with the Ezra is that because the cork, that bear's head comes off, and it's corked, and the cork
Okay.
fell in And so there was still bourbon in both of them, but the stuff in the bear, because you can't see, and because these are decanters.
Yeah.
So I poured it out into like a measuring cup, one to see how much was in there, and then to see what it looked like.
What did it look
and
like?
It was mud. The one in the bear.
Because of the cork had fallen in.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
it was just. I'm like, oh.
So you were talking about decanters.
Yeah.
There was a television show way back in the day, I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah.
Right. And the genie, there was a decanter that sat on the guy's end table or his coffee table
that she lived in.
Yeah, that she lived in. I'm pretty certain. We were at a tasting when I learned this, but
yeah.
that
so
used to be a Jim
you don't
Beam
have
or
a perfect recollection.
No,
of
not
the
really.
facts.
But it's either a Jim Beam or a Jack Daniel's decanter that
Yeah.
they just kind of painted and made to look like a genie's bottle.
So Jeannie's bottle.
Yeah.
Barbara Eden, her home.
Yes.
It's a bourbon bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the Dusties are old bottles hidden way back. I thought, I was like, ooh, look at this. It's a Dusty. And I'm like, because my folks, I took over my parents' liquor collection.
Okay.
There's just some crazy stuff. They would go on cruises and they would bring back like fifths of like this Jamaican rum or whatever, and so I inherited some of that. But there was an old bottle of Canadian Club whiskey.
Oh my goodness.
And it had the strap on it, the tax
Still?
Yeah, the tax strap across it, so it wasn't cracked.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
From 1986.
1986.
Is that 1986? Yeah. And so I Googled it, and it's like, yeah, that's worth about $2 more than a regular bottle right now. So,
Crack it open.
I thought I was onto something. I was like,
Get the
ooh.
Sprite.
Yeah. So, and Canadian Club isn't, but I thought I didn't know, so I Googled it. So
Hey, that's what it's
haven't
there
cracked it yet. So we got another Canadian Club open at the house. That was a Detroit thing. Right?
Canadian Club. We're right next door to
broadcast.
Windsor, right across the pond.
Yeah. So it was very
right
popular.
across the
it was
river.
a very popular spirit with your middle class folks.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s and 80s.
When you can walk it across the river during Prohibition,
Well, yeah,
made it a little bit easier.
Well, if you had a couple Prohibition bottles, that might be a different story. On
there
the
you
value,
go.
But
Yeah.
1986 ones. Yeah, not so much. So there was
Interesting.
no flipping those, which is the last term we have
Oh,
in
wow,
here.
flipper.
Which is someone who is a flipper. And that's just like that tater, right? Somebody buying and reselling the bourbons.
And they're trying to make a profit off of it?
Trying to make a profit off of it, which is fine. I guess if that's your deal.
Yeah.
It's just fun. It's just fun.
I would rather pay, market.
measure.
I'd rather pay market price at the store than give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Personally.
Because you don't know. You just
You
don't
never
know.
know.
You just don't know. But all right, sitting in front of us, like we mentioned, you talked a little bit about your first experience with Bulleit.
Yeah. So we were, as we've been talking, going through these vernaculars
terms,
here.
Yeah.
I keep smelling it, and
Yeah,
every time
I know,
I
I've been
smell
sniffing,
it,
too.
I've been nosing it for the last 20 minutes.
Right.
And every time I get something different just about every single time. So one time I got a little bit of caramel.
Right.
Right. Another time I got a little bit of floral in there next time. Right. So it really depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
Taste wise.
Yeah.
But like I said, the first time I tried this, Jamie, I got hit with the spice pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Right. So now when I try it, I'm looking for that spice.
All right.
So
what's the mash bill on this? Do we know what the mash bill
I
on Bulleit?
am looking. What is the whiskey?
So give me a little history, and I can find the mash bill for you.
Yeah, please do.
Give me a little bit about the distillery or about this bottle that we're looking at. What's it called?
This is the Bulleit Bourbon Frontier Whiskey.
Frontier
The
whiskey.
Frontier Whiskey. And they have the history of Bulleit here is actually pretty interesting. So Thomas E. Bulleit Jr. in 1987, he had a lifelong dream of reviving the old family bourbon recipe that they have.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And he started the Bulleit Distilling Company in 1987. So he was actually inspired by his great-great-grandfather, Augustus Bulleit. His
Augustus.
Augustus.
Hello, Augustus.
Yes.
Like our friend August.
Yeah. He made a high rye whiskey between 1830 and 1860.
Okay.
Augustus did, right?
Augustus.
So Tom, Mr. Bulleit, left the successful law practice that he had and risked everything to experience life back on the frontier of Bulleit whiskey.
All right.
So we're actually pretty glad he did.
Okay.
The reason why is because what you are going to experience and what you're going to learn is that his great-great-grandfather He was a tavern keeper in the 1830s.
Get out.
Yeah, and it was in Louisville, Kentucky. Augustus was dedicated to a single goal of the creation of a bourbon unique in flavor to his own. Because everyone's palate is different, right? So this is his own palate that came up with, Bulleit. So experimented with countless varieties, came up with what we have today, and that his great-great-grandson revived in 1987, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
So when transporting, unfortunately, on a fateful day, on transporting from Kentucky to New Orleans, Augustus Bulleit vanished.
What do you mean vanished?
He just vanished into thin air.
People don't vanish.
It's still a mystery today as to where he is and what happened to him.
Okay.
But when he vanished, his creation almost disappeared with him.
Oh my gosh!
Right?
All right. So how'd they?
I couldn't tell you. So the legend today.
All right. So where's the legend? And the legend continues.
Well, it's a high rye. It gives it. It's got a bold. Like I said, that spice that we were talking about. It even says it's got a bold, spicy character itself.
Okay.
So it knows. So when as soon as you take it in and throw it around, because there were 3 ways to do this, right?
Right.
So one time you just shoot it real quick.
Yeah, I was listening to another a podcast. Those whiskey guys, those whiskey expert, the YouTube
on YouTube guy.
Yeah, and I love those guys, and I love them so much I can't remember what their names are right now. But no, seriously, I would recommend watching them. And they're great. They're funny, and they really know their stuff, and they delve into it.
But
he suggested the first time you do it is just to sip it straight down, not to let it rest, not to do anything.
Straight down?
Sip it straight down. Nose it first. And
of course.
Strip it straight down. The second time was it
you let it sit for a second?
Let it sit for a bit, and then the third time, chew it.
Chew it, yes.
Yeah.
That's why I found that totally interesting.
So, go ahead.
When we do this, you should get that spicy, bold flavor.
Okay.
It's going to have a clean finish on it,
right?
But it's going to be distinctively smooth.
Okay.
I have a feeling that when we do our first sip,
right,
it's going to hit you a little bit with the spiciness.
I'm hoping,
and it's going to linger a little bit. But as it continues to linger, it'll get smoother and smoother as it lingers.
Okay. So here's the thing. Here's the Bulleit mash bill. So it's to be a bourbon, right? You have to be at least 51% corn. Bulleit is 68%.
Wow.
Corn.
That's a lot.
And then rye, they come in at 28.
See, that's a high rye.
Right? Yeah. So 68 corn, 28 rye, and then 4% is wheat.
Huh.
So 4% of wheat in there is the mash bill on your Bulleits.
Excellent. Thanks for that.
Now, Bulleit has a rye, which is not a bourbon, and that's 95% rye and then 5% wheat.
Wow.
But this is the one we have. We got the bourbon in our
Frontier
paws
whiskey,
here,
yes.
the Frontier. Cheers, brother.
Cheers. So, first time you nose it, I get that caramel like immediately.
Yep.
I'm
not smelling spices, but
I have a feeling it's going to hit you, and it's going to hit you in a good way, though.
All right.
Go for it.
Go for it?
Yeah.
All right, going for it.
Yeah. See, that's I remember that spicy the first time I had it when I was out in Colorado. I really do. Oh, wow. And it's getting smoother.
Yeah.
In the back of your throat. It's really it's sitting there.
And kind of looking at the legs, right? The oiliness of it.
Yeah. It's got a great color to it, too.
Yeah.
It's not a fake tan. Not at all.
Not a fake tan on this. So.
Yeah.
All right.
So now the second time,
sip and kind of hold it in there.
You got to hold it in there, swish it around, maybe. Yeah.
Put it on my gums a little bit. Hey, there's Jackie. Jackie, you recognize
Hi, Jackie.
Place?
Cheers. Thank you.
So yeah, we are. We're recording in your place, Jackie. We got the Facebook rolling while we're doing this.
Yes.
And, just kind of.
We were in the area.
Jackie, it's been a rough week at school, and
it's Monday.
It's Monday.
It's been a rough week. It's Monday.
It's been a rough Monday at school. But yeah, so
the third time we're going to sip on this, we're going to chew it a little bit.
Yeah, that's
all right.
the thing. That's the plan.
All right, so go for it.
I don't know what
Rolled
they mean
around.
by chewing it.
Yeah.
But, when you do that, it gets more in the front.
Yeah.
Because I guess from what there's different. Remember the science experiments in school? And you touch the tip of your tongue and the side of your tongue and the back of your tongue.
You mean we do that with a 9-volt battery to see if there's still a charge?
You took my broadcast class. Hey, Dave, how's that battery? I don't know. Just touch it your tongue. It's like, Mr. Flanagan, you mean.
It's been a tough Monday, kid.
That's it.
No, this is actually really, really smooth. For me, I would actually, put this in my cabinet at home. So and bring it on some really nice special occasions.
That's usually the question we get to. Is, I'm enjoying it.
Yes.
And then what is it? Kill, marry, screw.
Kill, marry, screw. Yeah.
Would you
never do it again?
Never do it again.
Wait, would you
take
it home
with you, or just have it when you're out and about? So you're taking it home.
I would take this home. I would take a bottle home and leave it on the shelf and crack it and sip on it as time progresses.
I would too. There's so many bottles to buy. Though.
There really are.
So it's there's so many bottles, so little time.
And the price, the price point's actually pretty good.
Furious with me too because there's I got all these open bottles. She goes, what are you doing? She goes, aren't you going to finish these other ones first? I'm like,
eventually.
You don't know how this works at all.
That's not how this works.
That's not how this works at all.
They don't crack open one bottle at the bar and finish it first before they crack it open something different, right? Because everybody's got something a different palate. But the price point on the Bulleit.
Where are we at on the price?
It's not as bad as you would think because if you go to an establishment and you pay $8, for 1.5 ounce pour or what have you,
right?
A bottle is anywhere between, depending on which kind, because Bulleit has different variations.
Sure.
So you could be anywhere on the Frontier whiskey that we're having.
Yeah.
You're at about $25 for a bottle.
That's a fair bottle.
Yes.
That's a nice bottle to have on your shelf for $25.
Honestly, it is, but it's
a good looking bottle too. It's got that old-timey raised lettering, and so it would look nice, too. Yeah,
the higher the rye, though, it's a little bit more on the higher end.
Yeah, there's a 10-year. They have a 10-year, the high rye, and then a barrel proof, is from what I understand.
So you're talking anywhere between $24, $25, up to $60 a bottle.
Well, even 60 isn't.
No.
Because that's... is it 60 for the barrel proof or 60 for the 10-year?
60, well, for the Kentucky 90 proof, it's about 68, 69, roughly. But still, you're getting a really quality bourbon. You're getting a lot of history, with the Bulleit. So that's what it's all about. Is in 1987 he redid it. Thomas Bulleit did. Took his great-great-grandfather's recipe, relaunched it out into the marketplace, and has been successful ever since. Right, and he's doing it the right way. It's something that is, you're passionate about, right? Something that's been in the family. Yeah. Why not let other folks experience what your great-great-grandfather did? So, love it.
There you go.
I do like it.
All right, so Bulleit, the Frontier whiskey.
Yeah.
And readily available.
Very. You can find it anywhere, really, you can. So you don't have to do anything. Yeah.
And then most retail outlets. Yeah. So, yay.
Very cool. Well done, sir. Thank you for that.
All right. So
cheers.
That's it. Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Man Cave Happy Hour. You find us on the socials.
Yeah.
We're on the Facebook. Thank you, Jackie, for joining us on Facebook.
Yeah,
much appreciated.
Jenny chimed in, too.
Oh, hi, Jenny. Thank you. Facebook, Man Cave Happy Hour.
Hello, ladies. Well, hello, ladies.
Hello.
So, but mancavehappyhour.com and Man Cave Happy Hour on Facebook and Twitter.
And Instagram is out there as well. Yeah, there's one out there. Find us, comment, let us know.
I think there's an Instagram.
There is.
We're the two hosts.
Yeah.
And maybe there is.
There is. It's out there.
We must post to that a lot.
No, comment. Let us know what you think. If you want us to try something, we'd love to give that a sample and give you our thoughts about what you recommend. So, honestly, give us a shout.
Yeah, that's it. So say hey. And then when we go live, if you follow us on Facebook, because we usually try to fire up the camera when we do these, so you can catch us live and leave a comment and get involved. Like Jackie said, we need a couple of stogies to go along with the pour. She's sorry she missed us. We're sorry we missed you, Jackie, because we do want to come in and do another one with you full blown. But this is just a taste.
Just a taste.
Grab one little pour and
got it.
Give it just a taste. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Jackie, for the hospitality.